Hello, my name is Aminata. Thanks for clicking on this video. I just wanted to point out a few little points on what Uber driver eats. Uber driver eats. Is that what they're called? Driver, whatever they're called. What they kind of have to go through and ways for you guys who do order Uber Eats to help us a little bit. But I've been doing Uber Eats for probably 10 months maybe, and I think it's a cool job. I don't think it's too complicated or anything. I like it. Um, but there are a little bit of things that I think, for those who don't know, or for those who don't know they do that, and it makes it a little bit harder for us. I just wanted to let you know. So first thing I will have to say, I will point out is people that live in apartment, condos, people that live in, places like that. I would, and if your apartment is really, really hard to get to, it's like you get on the elevator, you go left, you go right, you go up and down. It's like that makes it really, really hard for us. And it would be easier if somehow you could meet us halfway or even to our cars, because most of the time, for me, when I've experienced this, I always, when I do, I always waste about 10 minutes doing that, finding your apartment, because it's never just, right there. If it was, that's no problem. It's quick and go, but it's not. You have to go, you have to find it, you have to call them, make sure it's the right apartment. It's a hustle, and it would be great if you could even meet us halfway at the elevator or maybe at the car. But if you can't, if you have a disability and you can, that's perfectly fine too. But if you can, we would really appreciate it if you did that. Give me 1 second. Oops. What did I just do? What does this button do? Noah, can you turn the toy down, please? Okay. Okay. The second thing I would have to say is make sure your address is right. A lot of people don't really check. Maybe they had a friend's address or their old address, and then they sent you there, and then as soon as you get there, they call you and tell you, oh, sorry, it's the wrong address. I mean, people make mistakes, that's fine, but it makes it a little bit harder for us, because we do have to waste more gas to get to you and time, and especially if you have two orders, it makes the other customer upset at you for being late, and it's not fair. And it's not fair because they scream at you. They don't go screaming at Uber Eats. They don't go screaming at the customer before them. They scream at you, and it's not fun. So that's the second one. The third one, I would say, a lot of times people get upset. They say, well, I've been waiting for this food and it's taking forever and this and that and this and that. And it's not our fault. Most of the time it's the restaurant. They tell you, oh, the food is not ready yet, or we had to prepare it again, or something happened, so you have to wait for the food again. Or sometimes it's traffic. There's accidents that happen. They make you take another route or this and that. It's life. So you just gotta be patient, because sometimes things do happen and we don't have control of that. So that was the third one, right? Yeah. The fourth one I would say is people that don't keep up with their delivery on their phone. It's like they order it and they forget, And for us, when we get there, we have to wait. We call them and they're like, oh yeah, I'm coming, But when you have another order for another customer, it's not fair to them, because again, they'll call you and then they'll get they'll call you and they'll get mad at you again, and say that, oh, you're taking forever, this and that. It would be amazing if you could just really, keep up. Even if it says a minute, you just know it's a minute away, and you just get ready for that. You don't have to be outside and wait for a minute, but just be ready for it within a minute. And yeah. And then the fifth thing I would say is it's I would say it's about time again. When, like an example, I was in a car, and I was at a stoplight. I was probably like 2 minutes away, and the customer calls me saying, "Are you lost?" I was like, "No," and that it's happened before. It's not the first time. It happened before, and I'm like, "No, I'm just, I'm coming. I was just at a stoplight. If most of the time, if we're lost, we will call you, or if we're having a hard time, we will call you. It's some people. For me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me, but for some people, they may get frustrated with that. Like, oh my God, I'm coming. Can you be patient? This and that. This and that. So I would say, if it does take, if it says you're 2 minutes away, and then it says you're like 5 minutes away after